Series, and showed you an earlier game. 45's did win their second game against Pharaohs, and Flashback did beat Goodwood. So that's where we're at right now. We had a little glitch with one of our tablets, so the game was scored, but it didn't show up live. So that happens with technology and how hot it was earlier in the day. The sun's gone down, and it's very pleasant now. So hopefully we won't have any more problems tonight. So we got a good one here, Impact versus the Shooters. And Impact, they're sneaky. They've got a couple of skins on the wall in terms of upsets this season. They beat Flashback earlier in the year, and they are a team that you don't want to look past. They beat Hex in the North-South, and they're playing the Shooters, and it should be a competitive game here. For those of you who are going to be checking us out, this is Chicago 16-inch style softball. You're going to see it, no glove. It's the way we play 99% of our things out here, and it is a 16-inch clincher. It is not a mush ball, so just keep that in mind. 60-foot bases. You can lead off, you can't steal. 38 feet from home to the pitching rubber. We use heavy bats, 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel. We are playing no gloves, so the pitcher gets what we call a drag step, one step left, right, or back. He gets 2 fakes or hesitations. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A throw or fake to a base is considered one of his fakes or hesitations. And a decent amount of foul territory, not too much, no fences, so it's all you can get. And these two diamonds face each other. There's actually a lot of people in the park, but they're spread out. So a good crowd, and a lot of the teams that played earlier are hanging around with their groups. And we got some good players on the field for both teams. The live stream is powered by Gold Rush Gaming. If you're going to put video gaming in your establishment, go with the gold standard. Go with Gold Rush. Call them at 630-307-0500, or you can email them at inquiries@goldrushgaming.com. Tell them you love the SSA, and that's how you heard about them. And please gamble responsibly. I'd also like to thank Sweet Buzz, one of our anchor sponsors for the Chicago Summer Series. So leading off going to be Jeff LeVar. He'll be followed by Cody Niedenbach and then Michael Crawford. It's good to see Michael around. I think somebody told me earlier in the summer he had got into a little fender bender. So here we go. Jeff LeVar leading off here for Impact. Impact is young. They're scrappy. And Tommy LeVar, and there's a little flare out into right, and it's caught by the right fielder coming in. Little belly catch there, Pat Martin. And that's how we start. The wind has really calmed down. Looking at the factory across the warehouse across the street, not blowing. What minimal breeze there may be will be pushing out on this diamond. We've seen a lot more runs scored down here today. This Flashback reached double digits in both games. And there's a sky-high pop-up. It's in no man's land, and it drops, a little bump there. Don't think the umpire saw it. Cody took a big swing, mishit it a little bit, and hit a little flare, landed with a parachute nice and soft. That brings up Michael Crawford. Greg, they are playing on the other diamond. They're playing a very depleted Moneyline team. Moneyline had a few issues with first responders and things, so we elected to show you this game. And even though Moneyline is very good, and there's a little fielder's choice, should Chucks win for you people in Iowa, they will play the Fat Kids, and we will try to hustle down there and show you that game. So runner on first now with one out. Brings up Anthony Lopez. Should be two outs. So I'm going to try to gut it out here. Very hot day. And there's a swing and great catch by the short center. Took a couple of hard steps, climbed the ladder for it, and made a nice catch. Elliott, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. So Elliott makes a terrific play to end the top of the first. Shooters come into bat, and he'll score. You guys are so superstitious, but I'm going to tell you a Chuck story, Greg. At the North-South, they got upset after Schrage and Simpson went down. They lost to Goodwood. And after the game, a couple of them were like, man, that was weird. We never seen these kids. We didn't know where they were hitting. And they knew exactly what we were doing. And I told them, dude, I did 2 of your games in Marshalltown. So people do have that tendency to watch the broadcast, get a little free scouting. And that's a lesson to be learned. Watch the live streams. So it's going to be Spencer Stanek, Keenan Connolly, and Eddie Valunas. Top 3 scheduled hitters here. And the shooter team is pretty good. When they have their whole group out, they're a little bit like Players Inc. They're a little better than maybe what their season record could indicate. And Stanek pops it the other way, long run coming in, and the left fielder takes charge and he puts it away for out number 1. Lineup card says JT Redis, but he's in center field. Michael Crawford, they put 2 left fielders down. So here's Keenan Connolly, and we've lavished him with superlatives many times. Keenan, one of the best two-way shortstops. And there's a high fly ball, and that's going to be out number 2. So both teams kind of feeling each other out here very early. Brings up Eddie Valunas. Now, Eddie did not play for me on Mudville, but he played for me when I had a brief stint with Brick. Eddie played football at U of I. And over the shoulder, Niedenbach can't make the catch. And there's a 2-out base runner for the Shooters. That's going to bring up Pat Martin with Elliot Pisarcik, another Brick guy. So a couple of Brick guys coming over here to the Shooters. And there's a line drive, but and he dropped it. Valunas will get to third. He got there. Looked like it hit him on the forearm. He was expecting it to maybe be a little lower. Ball hung up just at the hair. And the right fielder can't handle it. So with 2 outs now, here's Elliot Pisarcik, a chance to drive in the first runs of the ball game. And there's a little flare over the top. Out of play. Come on. And there's a swing and a long fly ball. Left fielder retreating, going back. He bobbles it 3 times and makes the catch. Elliott gave it a ride. The left fielder, Michael Crawford, over the shoulder, hit his hands, popped up in the air, and then he started to do a little juggling act like he was in a circus. Of course, they played last night. So at the end of one, shooters can't take advantage of the miscue, and we have no score. So leading off here, it's going to be Liam Mulcrone, Matt Eberhardt, and then Michael Mulcrone. And yes, he is related to Liam, and he is the pitcher. You can always go to the top of our Facebook page. There is a document there, and there's a fly ball right to the right fielder, and he squeezes it for out number one, Pat Martin. Well, looks like Chuck's won the toss, and they're home. Top of the first, no score. So you can go to the top of our Facebook page, or you could go to our SSA softball.com website, and the Game Changer is live there, so you can watch whatever the score is. So here's Matt Eberhardt, and it looks like somebody just got a big hit down there for money line. They take a 2-0 lead. Actually, ground ball over to John Ryan. Let me relook at this, because they both have similar looking colored uniforms, so I don't want to misspeak.
Hey, watch it spray this way.
And here comes Michael Mulcrone.
Here we go.
And he pops it up. Long run, caught by the left fielder. So at the end of 1.5, still no score. Somebody check the Game Changer. Let me know who's home down there.
That's good. That's a good point. But they said they
Yeah, no, money line is home. They've taken a 3-0 lead at the end of a half inning. And there's a little ground ball to third, knocked down. We called it foul. Again, we're at first base, so don't have a good view of it. And this is Elliott. And he swings and he drives this one, and that's going to get over JT Redis. He took 2 steps in, and the ball sails. It's going to be an easy solo home run. First lead of the ball game, 1-0, Shooters. Looked like JT was going to make a play, but he took a step or two in, and then he was all over. Ball was hit directly at him. Most outfielders will tell you that's the toughest ball to gauge. I know in hardball they tell the kids if the ball's hit above the bill of your cap, you go back. If it's hit below the bill of your cap, you charge it. So leadoff home run, and there's a sky-high pop-up, and it drops in between. Anthony Avila was going over there. JT Redis was coming in, And they both stopped and the ball dropped.
Come on, Eddie.
So now Tommy LeVar, I think, is not happy. And brings up Jake McTeague.
Ray, your first baseman's drinking. Are you seriously?
And there's a swing, and Jake drives it to the gap, and that's trouble. One run's going to score. Jake McTeague hustling to third. They throw it in. He's going to try it, and he'll make it. So they get a leadoff home run, and then they get a two-run blast in between a bloop. So we got identical 3-0 scores here early on both diamonds. And there's a strike. It looks like Chucks is trying to punch back there in the bottom of the first. So here's John Ryan. John, one of the better pitchers in the game. And John hits a little flare over the infield, base hit. Still nobody out here. As the shooters have come out here in the bottom of the second, swinging it good. And here's Jeremy Jerger. Robbie Bosco on deck. So 3-1 now as Chucks gets a 2-out hit down there. Here's Jeremy. Jeremy tried to go down the right field line. Way late on that swing. Pretty sure Chucks will be on the live stream this tournament. Love the passion in Iowa, but there's a lot of teams here in Illinois that would like to see some locals. And there's a little soft flare. This time, the right fielder takes charge as three impact guys were approaching. Chucks has made it 3-2 now. And that brings up Robbie Bosco.
He's on a line drive, JR. They were gone 3 months later. You know, I was there 3 weeks. Come on, Robbie.
Well, Sam, with 33,000 plus followers, that's not true. And there's a line drive as he guides it through the slot between the shortstop and the third baseman. And it looks like Matt Martin just robbed the guy. 3-2 at the end of one down there, money line. So here's Spencer Stanek, only 1 out, 2 runners on. Now John Ryan is at second. And there's a ground ball picked up by Avila. Nice hands by Matt Eberhardt. He does push both runners over. And that brings up Keenan Connolly. And we always talk about every team's got a guy you don't want to beat you. And on this shooters team, it's Keenan Connolly. And you do have an open base. So I am a little surprised, trailing 3-0, that they're actually going to pitch to this kid. And he skies a fly ball. They get away with it. Keenan reached for a pitch. But in the inning, they played 3, and they take the lead as we head to the top of the third.
writing on your hat. Hard to get your back. I would have rubbed it in.
So again, Impact a young team. And I got to give it to Tommy. When he's had established teams or young teams, he goes major. He's not afraid. The test for money line down there, when you're short-handed and you lose the toss, sometimes you come out full of fire. But during the course of a ball game, when you're short-handed, it's hard to sustain that. We did get a health report that Matt Schrage was feeling pretty good. And there's a called strike 3. So Jake takes a called strike 3, and it brings up Anthony Avila. So John Ryan is locked in right now. He's throwing some good quality strikes here. And we are playing one-on-one, and there's a sky-high fly ball. Right fielder is there, or left fielder is there, Robbie Bosco, and he puts it away. And Moneyline did push a run across in the top of the second. They lead 4-2 now.
Hey, Pat, give him one.
And here's JT Redis. JT, one of these younger kids, played on Future, wanted to play for a team that was going to enter more events. There's a high fly ball to center, and he puts it away. So Impact goes 1-2-3 here. And we'll head to the bottom of the third, 3-0. So Whale hung in there with the 45's. Their defense let them down. And the one thing about the 45's is they're very opportunistic. And they took advantage of it. That was really the difference in the game.
Where do you live again? How long did it take you to get here? I was there. You played earlier. It was like a.
So it's going to be Eddie Volunas, Pat Martin, and Elliot Pisarczyk. And there's a little ground ball up the middle, base hit. So the shooters are stacking base runners. And a lot of times when you do that, good things happen.
I got our team's on Sundays on the weekends.
So here's Pat Martin. It's kind of a new face. Haven't really seen much of him. And there's a line drive base hit. That was a pretty good looking swing. First two hitters on here. So after going 1-2-3 in the first, shooters have come back and are swinging the bats pretty good. And there's a swing and a fly ball. Right fielder had a little problem with it, but he makes the catch. Volunas tags and goes to third. So here is the second Elliott, back-to-back Elliots. Don't see that often. Steal a phrase from one of my favorite movies of my youth. Elliot's a fat kid with glasses that eats paste. bonus points for whoever knows what movie that came out of. And there's a slash to left that is going to score run number 4. The Shooters have taken a 4-0 lead here. I could see that. He's kind of built like a pitcher. Left-handed, stroke. And here comes Mike Giangreco. And there's a line drive, and Anthony Avila can't make the catch. Now he's going to try to go to third, slides under the tag. Chucks has tied the game 4-4 in the bottom of the third. Here's Jake McTeague, 2-run homer in the second inning as he pounded the ball into the right center field gap. Now he tries to go to left center, long run, and the left fielder, a little leap, makes the catch. But they push another across. We go to the top of the fourth, 4-0, in a game that's moving pretty quick. This game right now is an inning ahead of the Chucks game. And I anticipate that Chucks will be scoring a few runs down there, so that game may take a little longer. So this is going to be Michael. Well, this might be a pinch hitter. And there's a little ground ball hit to Connolly, and that'll be out number 1. Take that back. That was, well, that's not Michael Mulcrone, although he's got the same number as Michael. So I'm not quite sure who that player was. And here's the leadoff man, Jeff LeVar, and Jeff tried to cut the right field line. Didn't quite pull that top hand down hard enough. The ball floated out there for an easy catch. Brings up Cody Niedenbach. So a couple of blue pits and an error. A couple of home runs. And the Shooters lead 4-0. And Niedenbach just over to short center. He got a hand on it. I think he might have mistimed the jump.
Let's go, Mike.
And unlike Michael, he couldn't stay in the air. So that's going to bring up Michael Crawford.
Come on, Mike. Right behind you. All right, Johnny. Right behind you.
And that's a sky-high pop-up, long run. Everybody chasing it. Left fielder takes charge. So the offensive woes for Impact continue here. Shooters up 4, looking for more halfway through the ball game. So next weekend will be the 2024 Tom Egg-Zarnik Class A No Glove National Championship, sponsored by the Zarnik family. We did a nice little interview with Ray, if you get a chance, a little live look in. It's also going to be a fundraiser for JDRF, and we'll put a link up where you can donate. We actually raised the entry fee $50, and that $50 is going to JDRF. We'll put that link up this week. Looks like we got 26 teams committed. It should be a great weekend. And Chuck has taken the first lead, 5-4, in the bottom of the third. I think that's a 5. It could be 6. And there's a high fly ball to center by John Ryan. And Jeremy Jerger steps in. First saw Jeremy on the Park League Heroes. And Jeremy's why 16-inch softball's a terrific game. He's not that big of a kid, but he's got tremendous hands. And he's crafty with the bat, knows how to get on base. And that ball's going to be fouled down the line. Well, I appreciate your passion, Iowa, but we're doing this game right now. And there's a nice catch. So going on and asking for it won't get it on there. I don't mean to be a jerk, but be respectful when we're doing the live streams. So here's Robbie Bosco, and then it'll be back to the top. And there's a ground ball, just foul over the bag. And I think what we're seeing now, it's been so hot the last couple of days, or really last week. It's going to be interesting to see what the quality of the softball will be tomorrow when we're supposed to be in the mid-90s. And there's a base hit as he flips it right over to short center. So Robbie Bosco finds his way on base, and here comes the top of the lineup with Spencer Stanek.
Hey, get the third on a hit, Robbie.
So we'll see how the teams in the losers bracket handle the Heat tomorrow. I think the first winter bracket games start around 4:30. Everybody has to play a double header. If you didn't draw a bye, you had to play 2 yesterday and today. Full count, runner was going. Brings up Keenan Connolly. So here's Keenan, hits a hard ground ball to short, handled by Cody Niedenbach. We'll head to the 5th. So there's no heat right now in the sense of the sun, but it is a little muggy out here. It's one of those days you leave some paper alone or your bat bag, and when you come back, it's soaking wet. And I always chuckled because every time they do something out in Arizona, they don't play during the day. And they don't have the humidity we get out here. Just saying. So here's Anthony Munoz. And right now, Impact is a team that's in need of a spark. I think John Ryan might have got away with an extra fake there. And Keenan Connolly, strong arm. So money line battling down there. Looks like it might be 5-5 in the fourth now.
Let's go, Liam.
Here's Liam Mulcrone. There's a little dribbler to short. Keenan Connolly throws across. And right now, Impact just not swinging the bats very well. Brings up Matt Eberhardt.
Bobby in front of you.
That ball's going to drift out of play. Sorry, I was reading the Sonny Alejandro. Is that a 6? I got a fence post running through one of the numbers. So 6-6 now. Chuck's coming to bat, bottom of the fourth. And here's Matt Eberhardt with 2 outs. And John Ryan there with the knuckleball. John's actually, everybody tries to throw the knuckleball. Not too many guys have a good one. And there's a little ground ball. Keenan Connolly, pitch and catch. You can't really see it, but you can see the moon there. I don't know if it looks orange or yellow on your screen, but that's a pretty low full moon here in the city of Chicago. And it's orange in person, which tells you that the air quality is probably not great out here. So you get a little bit of everything on an SSA broadcast. So Eddie Valunas, Pat Martin, and Elliot Pisarcik. It's almost as if both teams are trying not to expend energy. And I know I'm just standing here and I'm damp. There's a little flare, long run, center fielder diving catch. So Josh, I think that's Josh Moran who's come in to play center field. And he makes a great catch. So here's Pat Martin. As we learned, he was a pitcher at the University of Hawaii. And he swings line drive right at Anthony, and he makes the catch. And Elliott, a little overhand chop swing, and it's going to drop for a base hit. 2-out hit for Elliot Pisarcik. And it brings up Elliott squared. Second Elliott in the lineup, back to back. And Mike Mulcrone hasn't pitched a bad game. Couple of mistakes and a couple of homers, and that ball's driven toward the gap. Elliott's going to stop. So runners on the corner. I've never been in Arizona with a blood red moon. And there's a swing and a pop-up by Mike Giangreco. So mini threat goes by the board. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning here. Still 4-0. Game getting short for Impact. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic because you're only down 4, which in 16-inch softball is certainly not insurmountable.
What?
Thanks, Sonny.
Who are Can you read that scoreboard? Oh, you don't know.
And there's a high fly ball. And that's going to be tracked down by the center fielder. He had a little problem with it, but the ball looked like it wanted to squeeze out of his hands, but he secured it.
That was right.
Spencer Stanek. So here's Jake. And that ball, that's the best hit ball that Impact's had all day as he drives it down the left field line.
Hey, great ball.
So 1 out double as Jake crushed that ball. Hands down the best hit ball of the day, and it brings up Anthony Avila. Now, Anthony Avila does like to walk the dog down the right field line, and they're trying to wave the right fielder in a little bit. Now he's coming down. And Anthony guides a hit up the middle, and they're going to send him, and he scores. So I think they might have caught the shooters thinking that the runner, Jake, wasn't going to go, but they sent him last minute. Tommy LeVar being very aggressive, trying to get something going for his club. And here's Josh Moran, who came in for JT Redis. And Josh has been around a long time. I believe he played on that Vision team that won the very first SSA Class A Glove National Championship way back in 2011.
That's not his best one.
Josh, a very versatile kid, can play a lot of positions. Good teammate. Shows up every day and just works really hard. Again, we are playing a 1-1 count. And it looks like Pat Devereaux may have grabbed the bat, and he walks him. That puts the tie in the box for Pat Devereaux. He's hitting for Ryan, the right fielder. So Impact got their second hit of the ball game and first run this inning. We'll see if they loosen up here. And Devereaux strokes a single. Avila is going to score. Pat Moran is working. They're going to hold him. 4-2 ball game. So he stroked it right in between the shortstop and the short center. Keenan couldn't get to it. And now the tying runs are at second and third for the leadoff man, Jeff LeVar. There's only one out here. Impact's been dormant for 5 1/3, but now they seem to be waking up here a little bit. And there's a little chopper. It is going to score another run, and Eddie Volunas with a terrific play. It was a routine play.
Hey, don't get beat. Come on.
Go, Cody!
As that throw was a little wide, and that could have been a disaster. Brings up Cody Niedenbach. All of a sudden, we got a 4-3 ball game. And Niedenbach slashes it fair inside the line. We're all tied. He's going to burn to second. Easy double. Cody Niedenbach ties the game with a double right over to the third base bag. Still 6-6 in the bottom of the fifth on the other diamond. Here's Michael Crawford now. Lead run. 120 feet away, and he skies it. But in the inning, new ball game. Nothing's been decided. We'll head to the bottom of the sixth, 4-4. So that was a nice job there by Impact. After that double, seemed to wake him up a little bit.
Go with the lead. Let's go.
Nice job, boys.
Nice, Andrew.
I learned that.
So things have taken a dramatic change here. I would imagine the shooters were to that four in a hurry and they just stopped scoring runs. Eddie Volunas was a tight end at the University of Illinois. Jake McDaniel comes right back for the shooters and pounds a hit.
Hey, right. Hey.
Flash already won twice today. Bad kids get the winner of Chucks and Moneyline.
I'll race you.
So they're going to put in a pinch runner to Emmett. You can tell he's a young kid because Eddie is trying to give him a little advice. For some reason, the shooter's got no first base coach. Now Eddie realizes that he's going to stick around.
And there's a ground ball. They turned the double play. Can you hear me now? I actually snuck a quick drink of water. Should be hearing me now, okay? No? Yeah, I slid the boom mic to the top of my hat. I'm getting a little punchy between the heat and the work. So the double play, the pitcher's best friend, came at the right time. And this is a pinch hitter. I'm not sure what the delay is here. And as fate would have it, I think this is Luke, as fate would have it, of course. The pinch hitter's on the side of the card. You can see I got him folded, and he was just on the other side of the card. And nothing aggravates an outfielder, corner outfielder, more than on a hot, humid day to have to chase foul balls. We talked about it on a previous broadcast. Sometimes the other team will start hitting foul balls just to get a little payback. And now if you're Mike Mulcrone, we don't want to put anybody on base because they are toward the bottom of the lineup. And there's a little roller
Liam Mulchrome just beats it.
Good hunt. Good hunt.
It was a little roller. Liam Mulchrome did everything he could, wasn't hit very hard. Matt Eberhardt, nice job trying to sneak off the bag. It brings up Robbie Bosco. And that potentially, even if they don't score here, is a big play because we're tied, and it means the top of the shooter lineup. And there's a little flare the other way, and that's going to be caught. So we head to a 7, knotted at 4. The other diamond is in the top of the 6th, 6-6. So it's like the sign of the devil down there, 666. And we got a blood red moon. I don't know what that means. If you watch any horror occult movies, somebody might have the answer to that. And meanwhile, nobody answered my trivia question of what movie the Elliott line was from. Must be a young audience. Chuck's is the home team, Isaiah, in that game with Moneyline. And I got to hand it to Moneyline. They were missing Marty Dozer and Chris Stout and a few other people. And they're hanging in there with Chuck's. And there's a swing by Anthony Munoz, and that's going to be foul. And Munoz punches it the other way, and that's an out. So with the top of the lineup coming up in the bottom of the 7th for the shooters, Impact doesn't want to go.
Couple more, let's go. Keep it rolling.
Doesn't want to go dry here. That was right over my head. And I had Eddie Valunas running after that like he was going to make a block on a linebacker. And it looks like Moneyline is taking a 7-6 lead in the top of the 6th. We may be able to catch the 7th inning down there. And there's a little flare, and that's going to be foul. And that'll be. So Liam Mulchrome fouls out. No. The line was, Elliott is a fat kid with glasses who eats paste.
What's Gio here?
So Liam Mulchrome was a character, fouled out. And there's a Keenan Connolly. Well, you guys are young. This movie must have been out in the 80s. John Cusack, I believe, was in it. And Nicolette Sheridan. So I'll give you the name of the movie, and if you're on your cable or satellite, check it out. It was called The Sure Thing. Typical kind of sophomoric high school humor, but it was pretty funny. So any kind of a run wins it. 8-6 money line as they head to the bottom of the 6th down on the other diamond. So here's Spencer Stanek, Keenan Connolly, and Eddie Valunas. They push one across, they win the game. No, actually not. These are the 8:30 games, so there is a 9:30 set of games. Whoever wins here and on the other diamond have to play another game. The winner of this game feeds into prime time. And there's a leadoff hit for Stanek.
Right here. Watch those gaps.
And the winner of the Chuck's money line game feeds into the Fat Kids. So bottom of the sixth down there. And there's a base hit for Connolly.
Right here.
Theoretically, if you're Eddie Valunas, what you want to do is drive something to right field, let both of these runners tag. They would then turn around and walk Martin, and the game would be on Elliot Pisarcik's bat. Now, the only thing you've got to do here as a hitter is you just don't want to pop it up, and you don't want to hit a line drive right at an infielder. I always thought guys should change their approach in these situations. A lot of guys are so deep, and the pitchers will throw them that little short dead fish, and they'll reach and either hit a ground ball or they'll end up standing up on the swing and hitting a pop-up. And Eddie just guides it. That is going to get the winner probably to third. And he throws it to second. Does keep the double play in order. And I understand for some reason they are scoring the games on Game Changer on this diamond, but they're not showing up on the Game Changer page. So they walk Pat Martin anyway to load the bases. This will allow them to get a fielder's choice at the plate. And with one out and Elliot Pisarcik up,
Let's go, Elliot.
you pretty much have to pull your infield and outfield in. Catching a fly ball doesn't help you. And if you can't throw a guy out, you're too deep. And Stanek, Spencer Stanek is an outfielder, so we know he can wheel a
Lopez,
little
be
bit.
ready, dude.
You can see Elliott is not deep in the box here. And he hits it right up the shaft, should be deep enough. And no chance to throw out Stanek, and the shooters win 5-4. They walk off impact, and we'll take a walk. They just went to the top of the seventh, 8-6. Money line leading Chucks. So money line, very competitive group. And I think they can. Diving catch by the shortstop.
Get that? Did you get that, Gio?
I got it, but I don't think you can see it.
Get that, Gio?
The shortstop just laid out like Superman and made a ridiculous catch of a line drive into the hole. And I don't think that's Shraggy. Shraggy wears 12. That might, I don't know who that shortstop is. And there's a ground ball to second. Throw to first for out number 2. So Chuck's trying to keep it here as we head toward the 7th, as I'm going to try to get out of the way here of Brady Fisher. I got short legs, so I don't walk that fast. So diving play by the shortstop. Is that Shraggy? I can't tell. I think it is Shraggy. Chuck's got these weird uniforms, and that ball drops, so 2-out hit here.
in the top of the 7th.
Down right here.
One doesn't hurt.
Come on, Brady.
You can see Schraggy's covered in dirt from that dive. So it's good to see that his leg is feeling good. As this game is... What's up? There's my favorite guy, Peanut.
How are you doing?
Good.
Get
And
it,
there's
come
a
on.
swing and a
Right there,
base
right
hit
there.
by Tim Parisi. Of course, Danny Judd running on second.
Hey, get out of it. Come on.
Hey, let's send me.
It's going to bring up the pitcher,
Too
Eric
bad.
Mandarino.
10 feet behind you. Get off. Get off.
And Eric tries to go down the line, and it just drifts foul. Had that ball been fair, would have scored a pair, as there's 2 outs here. And that's a little deeper normally than Eric will try to go there. Looked like
Hey, on the pitch, you
Brady
gotta get
might
off.
have been cheating the cut a little bit, but it just fell foul. So the winner here will play the Fat Kids. We're going to take a break and try to restart a new stream for that.
You're good. Get off.
So Eric swings and
Go,
Schraggy
go,
can't
go.
get that. Another run scores. Throw to the plate. Underneath the tag. 9-6. No real argument.
Nice shot, Brady.
So it was a great throw. Danny Judd, he's got that big knee brace and he's hobbling around a little bit. Last time he's seen a guy that slow was Phil Chaveria, the third base coach. Of course, Phil played on Mudville, so I can kid him a little bit. And that brings up Brian Davis. And Davis, a little ground ball. Mackey, tough hop. And they called him safe. Another run scores.
Hey, shoot that.
Did they call him out? Well, they got 9-6 on the board, but
Relax. Come on, Drew Severi, let's go.
I'm not sure what the score is here. As Parisi scored, and Drew Chaveria ground ball to Kevin Smith, but
Let's go.
You need to go through the bag, guy.
Schraggy's saying you got to run through the bag. I don't think that's the right score. I think is it 10 or 9, Goose? 10. So the scoreboard is wrong. It's 10-6, do or die bottom of the 7th for Chucks. But what I was saying on the walk down here, sometimes when you're a little short-handed and your expectation level is, hey, let's go out and have fun, you maybe play over what you got, but they still got a pretty solid team out here. Brian Davis, terrific player. Danny Judd. Can see Kevin Knorr playing shortstop. Still got their normal short center. Nick Drabel, Matt Martin, Eric Davis, and I believe that's Drew Chaveria and right. So they got a pretty solid competitive team. Matt Mackey leading off. And Matt strokes it the other way. Kevin Knorr, long throw, safe. So the big cat, left-handed hitter, hustling down the line. They need one more base runner to be dangerous here. So here's Jake McMains, I believe. And he tries to go the other way. Brian Davis calls it, and that's out number 1. Now, Jake is a terrific hitter, but that's not his ace one. So I'm not sure what. We've seen last summer out here, he was hitting 2 irons in the right center. That's my pet peeve in big spots like this. And here's Schraggy. Schraggy, a little inside out. And again, kids, when you get into these situations, you're not advancing base runners. What you're trying to do is get on base. You want to get at a minimum, well, 10 to 6. It's a 4-run lead, so you need a couple more base runners. So you always go to your best swing in these spots because you're not giving yourself up. And Schrage hits a bomb. Drew Chavarria tracks it down. Mackey will advance. But that's the first out of the. That should be the second out of the inning. So here comes Mikey Heinrichs. Matt Doza really telling his outfield to come down. And there's a hard ground ball to second. Kyle Engels and Moneyline, missing 3 of their best players, wins the ball game 10 to 6. So we're going to shut off the stream. We'll be back for the Moneyline Fat Kids game in a little bit.